When they asked me to do this class and demo, I said, yes, I definitely want to do this because this is a very interesting camera. It was introduced not too long ago. It's Fuji's most recent introduction in their interchangeable lens cameras. And when it came out, there was a buzz in the photographic community that I had not seen for quite some time. This camera really generated a lot of interest, and both among Fuji users who said, this is my camera, this is the camera that I want to have. And it also generated a lot of buzz among other manufacturers' users because they were looking at that going, ooh, that's how it's supposed to be done. So what's new and what's great? Why did people generate such a buzz about this camera? Well, an interchangeable lens camera that is as weather resistant as this is very unique. The viewfinder on it is just the best in the industry. The unique sensor system on it enabling super sharp pictures. And it's just a small camera, and I don't know that I would want a camera any smaller than this because the size of the controls is just right. It met a lot of our needs for that small size, but not too small in size. And the Fuji lenses, they have done an incredible job with their lenses. I have to admit that they are kind of catering to middle and higher end users, people who are a little bit more discerning with their lenses as far as the optical construction and the mechanical construction. When I pick these lenses up, they just feel professional in my hand. And that's pretty much the entire collection that they make. Really solid feeling lenses. One of the things that's unique about the camera is this is the first camera in a very long time that has put an ISO dial on the top of the camera. And this is fantastic because when the camera is turned off, or at any time you just want to glance down at the camera, it's very, very easy to see. It's kind of like an analog watch where all you have to do is just glance at it and you get a feel for where it's set at. Fuji is also one of these companies that has been the first to reintroduce us to the shutter speed dial. And so we have an actual shutter speed dial on it, as well as an exposure compensation. And so when people first saw this camera, we've had a lot of talk about retro cameras, traditionally styled cameras. And we grew used to them for many of us who used them, but it's also a great way to work with this equipment. And so they have really done a nice fusion job of traditional controls with a lot of new high-tech features. And this is one of my favorite features on this camera, is the focus distance and depth of field. This is where the camera will show you where the lens is focused at. So right now in this example, we are focused at 1.5 meters. Now the blue line extending on either side of that is indicating how much our depth of field will give us in focus. As we adjust focus, those of you who have taken my basic photography class or any other good class will know that as you focus towards the distant, you get more things in focus, and that blue line would expand, showing you your expanded depth of field that you would have. This is just a great benefit to preview how much depth of field am I going to get, and how much does that change if I move back and change focal length a little bit, because it can read a lot of things into what's going on the camera, including your distance and your aperture, what lens you're working with. Let's get into the good stuff. Let's talk lenses, Fuji lenses. And the 18 to 55 is an f2.8 to f4, so it's a pretty fast lens. And I would be willing to engage in a debate with anyone, and my argument is that this is the best kit lens that has ever been supplied with a camera. I think it's fantastic in sharpness. I got my camera with the kit zoom lens, and I have no intention of getting rid of it. A lot of photographers will buy the camera, I'll take the kit lens because it's a better deal, and then I want to sell it off on eBay or something. It's like, no, I'm keeping that lens. It's small, it's sharp, and it's pretty fast, and so I'm a big fan of it. They have their 18 to 135 lens. Now that's the lens that we got here on the camera, and the 18 to 135 is really not much bigger than the 18 to 55 lens. It's a little bit wider and just a little bit longer. And so if somebody wanted a all-in-one kit, this would be the lens to have because the camera is weather resistant, the lens is weather resistant, and so they're essentially a perfect match for each other. It's a very sharp lens, it's very well built, it's got the aperture ring on it, and something that I've been missing on other cameras is a smooth focusing ring. And this, like all their other Fujis, is a beautifully smooth. It's, as we like to say, it's like butter. It's so smooth, which is really nice. And so one of the things, I don't know if we can get a close shot of it, I'll just hold it right here, is this has a rubber seal on the outside of it. There's other weather sealing, but this is the one thing that we can really see and put our hands on and feel. And so this has a rubber seal, and so when that goes up against the body, it creates a very nice tight seal here, which makes it weather resistant. And I hope I've been able to tap my enthusiasm down on this. I don't want to seem too overboard, because this camera was not sent to me by Adorama. This was not sent to me by Fuji. This is my personal camera. And it was very easy to just bring it in and say, yeah, I can talk about my camera.